Hey everyone, welcome. Baron here. We are 2.5 days into Path of Exile League 3.21 Crucible, and this is a build check-in on the Pyroclast Saboteur Miner that I put a video out on just prior to League start. I did indeed go ahead with this as my League start, and this is just a check-in on where we are, how it's going, all that good stuff, what we've got here. So, to lead off, there was a little slowness in the campaign. I wouldn't even call it like a hiccup. There's like a little bit of slowness around it was around like Act 2 or 3 where I said in the preview video, like, hey, be sure to take your auras and get your damage up here because there's going to be kind of a drought of damage on the tree. And there kind of was until you hit that first lab. Now, in my practice run through, I must have just gotten lucky with some items or something in my practice run through because I found Acts 2 and 3 much easier when I tried it out versus the actual League start. It was not difficult. You can feel those enemies are just a little bit stickier when you're not dealing the damage. But then once I hit my first lab, smooth sailing from there. It was great. It ended up being a real good campaign killer. I, as usual, am no great shakes at doing the campaign in a timely fashion. Better than some, worse than most. I think, I got through like Act 8 that night. I'm on the American Eastern Coast, so it was launched at 4 o'clock for me. I stayed up, like 8 hours. And, I took a break for dinner, walked the dog, that kind of stuff. So it was probably like 7.5 hours it took me to get to Act 8, which is not, I usually do better than that. And then all told, I think by the time I did all 3 labs and finished the campaign, it was probably over 10. Probably because I got up the next morning and finished it out. But that's not on the build. That's just on me. I can't help killing mobs. And, I go get sidetracked. What are you going to do? ADHD is a hell of a drug. But from there, what have we been doing since? So first made some very basic upgrades. Getting a 4-link tremor rod was cheap. It was a chaos. And then a couple fusings to link it and get a 4-link. And that carried me for a while, but as I was getting into the later white maps, earlier yellow maps, I was starting to feel the damage a little bit on just a 4-link. So I did splurge. One came up on trade, a 5-link for, I think I might have paid like 50 chaos for it. And it's by far the thing that I've paid the most for, and it's not even close. I think I paid 50 C for it. I'm gonna 6-link it myself, so I'm currently doing some content, some Tujin logbooks, some Blight, stuff like that. Build up some of my own fusings, and then I'm probably gonna have to buy a bunch of fusings. I am very loss averse, so I'm not gonna try to manually 6-link it. I'm just gonna use the bench. On average, if you 6-link 20 things, it is better to roll it yourself, just on average. But man, that time that you get unlucky on that first one, it takes 3,000 fusings. You're sitting there thinking to yourself, I should have just done the bench craft for 1,500. Should have just done it. So I'm loss averse. I'm going to save up some fusings and do that. I see no need to even buy another weapon. I'll do it right on this one. The roll is perfect. It's got a 60% spell damage roll. So I got no reason to use anything else. 6-link this one. In terms of other money we've spent on the build, very minimal. Most of the stuff is stuff I picked up off the ground, other than the helmet, Alpha Sal. I think I paid like 5 chaos for this. It's just cheaper. I think I saw this in the preview video. You get some mono res efficiency, not quite as much as you would get if you rolled on a rare helmet. You could use an Essence of Loathing to get the explicit modifier, and then you use Eldritch Currency to get the implicit modifier, and you can add it up to like over 20. So you squeak out a little bit more, but that's going to cost a bunch of money, especially this early in the league, to get both Essences and the Eldritch Currency. So figured pay 5C for the Alpha's Howl. Get a little resist off of it. Get a boost to your aura gems, and you can squeak in some more aura. So currently we're fitting Herald of Ash, Summon Skitterbots, Grace, Clarity. What would I like? There's a couple other things I'd like to try and squeeze in if I could, but I think it's just going to be a lot of extra mono res efficiency. Like, I'd probably need a small cluster jewel, I think, if I was going to add in anything substantial from here. Certainly not going to be able to get in a 50% overall. Like I'm not gonna be able to get in a determination kind of a thing without a lot of investment into chaos or into mono res efficiency rather. Um, but might be able to fit in like a vitality, might be able to level up my clarity a little bit more. I'd love to be able to ditch the mana flask, so that's really the benefit of getting more mana res efficiency is I can pump up the clarity level, get rid of the mana flask, and take like a damage flask or maybe a stibnite flask, little extra evasion. But yeah, other than the Alvis Howl, this is crap. I mean, like this is just some. I can't remember if I rolled this myself or if I bought this for like a couple chaos, but whatever it was not expensive. I paid one chaos for the Machina mitts, which are letting the leech from my mind damage, which is nice. That's kept me alive a bunch. My boots are absolute trash. All they've got going for them is 30 movement speed. Amulet is absolute trash, but as you can see over here, I've got a new one I just bought, 5C. It's a fairly big upgrade, bunch more life. It's still crap. I mean, it's still just life attributes and a little bit of resist. But I'm going to stick with this one for a while. I really just need a stat stick for my attributes, and this one gives me the strength index that I need. I may even be able to deallocate some of, there we go, like I've got dex allocated here, and I've got intelligence allocated. Actually, I don't know that I'm going to need that intelligence, right? 298. There's no way I still need that allocated. So, okay, I'm definitely going to take that one out. That was from before I had crossed over all up here. So this really pumped up the amount of intelligence I had. But while we're here, I guess I'll just say a quick note on the tree. Progression was good here. I didn't really have any difficulties other than, like I said, this area right here around levels 20, 25, 30 was a little slow because I wasn't taking the charges yet. Didn't have access to the charged mind support. But then you get up here, you get a breath of relief because you get to come in and take all these mind damage and alley pen here. I still have these allocated right now, whereas the endgame version of this will take away these two and just allocate this one. So you lose a little bit of mind damage there, but you pick up some speed and you get an extra skill point. And I think I'll do that when it's time for a cluster jewel, and I want to squeak out an extra point. Picked up a bunch of life. Still need to get some more on the gear. If I do move to a chest without a life craft on it, I can take the 15% increased life here, and that's going to be a big upgrade because the amount of life on my chest right now is 22. Like, this is the worst of all possible worlds. It's neither a high flat roll, but it is a roll, so I can't take that 15% mastery. 15% increased max life. There's no life modifiers on your equipped body armor, so this is a target to spend like another 5 chaos. I haven't even broke 100C on the build yet. My rings are absolute jank over here, just complete and utter total jank. Flasks are fine. I've got good suffixes, evasion, crit, and curses, which is fine. I could take that or leave that. And like I said, I'd like to get rid of this. The immunity to shock does absolutely nothing for me because I've already got Pyromaniac here, immunity to ignite and shock. So I'm currently doing, late white, early yellow maps, and that's fine. As I get into yellow maps, the enemies do start getting a little tougher. So I definitely want to get that 6 link when I can. I'm only working with level 19 gem here, so level 20 or 21 is going to make a big difference. What else? 6 link. There's just some more. So like I showed you, I've got this amulet here, and I'm going to anoint Divine Judgment. I've been doing some blights. This is why I'm not further into maps yet. I could have pushed further up my atlas, but as you can see, not too much there. I have been doing blights, hence the oils over here. I've also been doing some expedition logbooks, and like I said, that's just to build up some bubblegum currency, build up some chaos recipe fodder. I am using the chaos recipe enhancer here, so it'll just tell you. Not that I have anything available right now. I've got to complete some more sets, but that is the general idea of it. That it tells you what to click on, just so you don't have to think about it. So yeah, so far so good, I would say. Next updates are, I don't know if I'm going to do anything, like a new chest or something, before I 6-link, or if I'm just going to zone in on getting the 6-link. You can see I did drop a divine, got that from a logbook. The currency chests in logbooks have a pretty good chance. Like, obviously they're not dropping them left and right, but I've gotten, over the several leagues, plenty of divine orbs from expedition currency chests. There's definitely a higher drop rate from those of divine orbs from those than there is from like a heist currency chest, for example. Like, that seems clear to me. So I don't want to spend that on fusings right now. This is one of those resources that's only going to appreciate in value over the next few days, and so I'd like to keep this where it is. I also did drop a Divine Beauty, which is worth. Yeah, currently going for 45 chaos. And again, that's going to appreciate in value over the next few days, so I don't want to sell that. I'm really trying to get fusings the old-fashioned way, by getting the fusings themselves and by paying a cheaper currency like chaos. That's it's only going to lose value over time. So weapon's going to be a big upgrade. When I get a slightly better chest, and it's not going to be great. I'm contemplating doing essences, spamming it with essences of loathing, because I am going to want that monores modifier on the chest eventually, and like maybe I go with it right off the bat. I'll probably have to rejigger my resistances at that point because I'm getting a fair chunk of them from the chest. I'll have to kind of transfer that over to the rings, but as you can see, that's not going to be a problem because my rings are jank. So I can get very easy, very cheap upgrades there. Spam essences. I think I would settle for, with essences, I would settle for either a T3 or better life roll this early in the league or spell suppression. I think with either of those, I'd call it good and consider putting some Eldritch currency on it. So that's on my, if not immediate radar, my, not too distant future. But, boots, I mean, they're still fine. I could use a little more evasion, I guess, but, they're not terrible, and I don't feel like spending currency on them right now. So I'm going to keep grinding out blighted maps. I'm going to keep grinding out logbooks, and just for now, to close out the video, we will do a sample map. Let's see if he's selling any that are incomplete. So this is a tier 8, right? So this is going to be on the upper end of what this build can currently do, and it's not going to be a huge problem, but you're going to notice I'm not always insta-phasing packs. I may need to do a couple mind throws to get it packed down. So let's just see. Metamorph monsters, which I always friggin' forget to... I don't know how loud this is for you. I hope not too loud. I'm just going to turn this down a bit. I always forget to grab the Metamorph at the end. So that was a Tormented Spirit rare. I'm pretty sure he had the green glow, so that's why he took a little extra time. But with a hit or two, most packs go down. I'm sprinkling in Bear Trap on my, I use a gamepad, so saying which keybinds I've got is kind of useless, but it's my middle finger that hits the Bear Trap, and then Flammability is either on my middle mouse button or the equivalent of on a regular keyboard. It's off to the right for me, and that's on my left hand. So you can see Pyroclast mine is doing okay. Let's see, if I just experiment with one click. Okay, one click will do it. Hey, we got Dujin, my boy. Good luck. We got an increased item quantity remnant. That's very good. Gonna clear this all out so that I can safely get this started. And nothing else super compelling in the way of remnants, so we will start with this guy, and we are going to hope for exotic coinage, and we are going to hope for logbooks, obviously. I would gladly run anything but a Gwenin. I've been doing some rogs, so some of the logbooks that I've been running have not just been Tujin and Danik the way I would normally do. Beginning of the league here, it is worthwhile to do ROG if you kind of know what you're looking for. And so I have been. And I've sold a few things that I picked up from ROG. Now I need to be out of the middle of this pack. There are some kind of scary mods here on the map itself. And I have not taken my Uber Lab yet. My Uber Lab is going to be Born in the Shadows, which is going to blind enemies, and it's going to cause me to take 15% less damage overall. Even, aside from the blind, which is also going to help keep me alive. So that's going to be a major defensive layer, and I suspect that that's going to be a big part of breaking into red maps, is being able to take that. I just kind of had it in the back of my head that I wanted to maybe get a weapon upgrade, something. I want a little bit of a damage upgrade before I take Izara, although, I know plenty of people do their Uber Lab on a 5-link. Like, it shouldn't be a big deal. Guess I could try it. Always be sure to bring a bleed flask into the lab with you. Those traps can get you gone in a hurry, especially if you get hit with one of those automatic cleaver chopper thingies. There's those gauntlet of things that come down. Yeah, those will bleed you to death in a real hurry. So my recovery is pretty good. It's currently not at a stage where I would feel remotely comfortable getting rid of a life flask. I think the endgame version of this build, if I can pump the life up high enough, maybe I can get rid of the life flask. I'd like to. Just getting an extra flask back on your skill bar is good. But right now, with only 3,000 life, the 500 energy shield is deceptively effective because I am using Ghost Dance. So my first few hits are getting kind of not absorbed, but refunded very quickly. And speaking of absorbed and first few hits, that could be what I do with a little bit more mana res efficiency, right? So if I can get some mana res efficiency on a chest, and then maybe even roll a chest in... No, you can't. That's a helm implicit. So I'd have to roll it on the chest and see how it looks. And if it looks decent, could throw on Aspect of the Crab, which I do want this build to be running Aspect of the Crab. It is good for two things. It is good for those first big bursty attacks that happen to power through your evasion. And the further we go, the better our evasion is going to get. We're going to get better gear. We're going to upgrade Grace. We're going to get more aura effect. The wand that I was upgrading is not here. I'm going to go grab that. So the evasion is going to go up, and so you're going to get hit less and less and less, but you're going to be in higher and higher tier content, so the hits that do come through are going to be pretty gnarly. And so Aspect of the Crab plus Ghost Dance can help with that. And yes, the other thing that Aspect of the Crab is going to help with is for spells to get through, because it is not just attacks. You can evade attacks. You cannot evade spells. We are nearly suppression capped, and we have taken the suppression is lucky mastery until we are capped. So we're effectively like pseudo capped. You're not going to suppress 100% of things, but like 90+% of things are going to get suppressed. Incidentally, Crucible is hard, and I probably shouldn't be doing it. Like, I guess I'm showing off the build at this point, but like, I juiced that thing up to the most that it would let me do. So this is kind of dicey for me, and I don't know if the rewards are really there yet. It might be better to just do a bunch of row 1 trees. Like the thing that I'm leveling up right now is going to be good, but not great. Like I'm not going to use it. I might try to sell it. I'm not sure. And I think it might just be a waste of time. Like I'm dying. I'm getting my experience taken away. I'm doing it because it's a league mechanic, and I'm just trying to get accustomed to it, have a good time with it. But this is not going to be worth it. You know, as people have pointed out, they're not dropping things independently, these monsters. So, um, you know, how much is it worth to kill myself over and over again to get another little piece of a passive tree I'm not even going to use? The one that I'm building toward, by the way, it is a passive tree that says mine throwing skills have reduced mana res efficiency, which appeals to me because when you're really up against the edge of your mana limit with this build, you start really noticing going from 15 mines out reserving your mana to 23 mines out reserving your mana. So a little bit of extra res efficiency might be the difference of being able to get in another aura. With that said, I would need to craft, you know, at least +1 skills on there to be even remotely worth using over the Tremor Rod. You'd need to be very good. Alright. Ooh, I'm going to go talk to the Envoy, since I'm in a yellow map here. Haven't talked to him yet. There we go. So I've officially started the Eldritch quest. You heard it here first, folks. Let's just wrap up here by doing a Metamorph, and then we'll call it a day. Do I have enough to... yeah, it should be fine. Good. Damn, that sucks. Well, let's hope we can kill him quick. Spoiler alert, we cannot. Hey, now there's the stuff. I was talking about Rog, wasn't I? Those boots were a Rog creation, and they just made me a divine. Would you look at that? Kind of cool that we got to see that on video. Let's take a look at what boots they are. They've got suppression, they've got decent life, they've got movement speed, they've got a couple resists. Like, at this point in the league, that is worth a divine. Like, I was tempted to wear them myself, but, you know, you saw them doing fine. I'd rather have the money. But, like, these would have been totally wearable for me. So there you go. A divine. Let's get back in there real quick and finish that Metamorph if we can. I forgot to mention I'm doing... yeah, oh, no, I did mention I'm doing flammability. This guy is a tough customer. I don't know if you can hear my cat in the background. This spell resistant thing that he's got going on is killing me, but got through him in the end. Powered through. That's going to feel a lot better once I get to a 6-ling, get a level 21 gem. It's going to make a big difference. So, okay. Baron from the future here, just to pop in. I realized that I had not shown off what my Atlas tree looked like, which is kind of important. So I made a beeline. Coming up the sides here, picking one is slightly more efficient if you only need one of the shaping the mountains, shaping the skies. And since I'm picking up 2 up here, I felt like just getting 1 was enough. This is efficient, and I want to spend more points getting to essence, and as soon as I get a few more completions and get amplified energies, I think that should be good to let me actually start actively farming essences. Yeah, that should do it. Oh no, look at that. I want to get this down here. So it looks like another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more completions, and I will get into it, and I'll probably do it in white maps, honestly. Rapid fire, see if I can pick a map with a decent layout, and just get in, get essences, get out. What are our good layouts going to be? None of those. Dunes could be good. Dunes is on the short list. Yeah. Strand's good. Strand's good too. It's a little harder to boss rush because boss is way at the end. Cemetery's decent. I feel like Cemetery is like a slightly less good Dunes. Yeah, I'm thinking both because it's a lower level, and I slightly prefer the layout in Dunes as far as once you've gotten the content that you know you're gonna get, once you've gotten those essences, just get to the boss and go. Whereas with Strand, you've got to get all the way to the end of that long line on Strand. Dunes is just there's an open thing, and once you've explored 2/3 of the map, you know if you know the layout, you know where the boss is going to be at that point. It's a pretty standard layout. So, anyways, that is my tree as it currently stands, and once I get the essences allocated, my next goal is I'm going to be allocating some blight. I think I really enjoy blight. I've been doing blighted maps, and then we will do blight in maps. That's my build update. You got to see a map, got to see where we are. I'll check in a few more days, see how we're doing. Hopefully have a 6 link and a better chest by then. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Take it easy.